Good morning, students. Welcome to your exam-based conduct class for IOL. The course is Policing. The subject is Policing Law 1A. I'm your subject tutor, Master C. Tamaret. My conduct details are as follows on the presentation. Our outline of the presentation will be assignment structure, the preparation and writing for assignments, the continuous assessment procedure, the examination structure and the examination preparation. What should you know during the exam and what should you do? The assignment structure, for those who already attended to the assignment, it's fine, but there are some of you who still need to do the assignment. Answer all the questions in the assignment. There will be multiple choice questions, true and false statements, and other short questions. Question 1 and 2 are short questions for 1 mark each. Question 3 and 4 are ranging from 3 to 15 marks, where you will be expected to discuss. All questions in the assignment are from the content of the study guide. Your assignment counts 120 marks. That will be calculated back to 100%. Preparation for your assignment and writing. Students should read the questions carefully before answering or starting with your assignment. You are not limited to the study guide only, but you may consult any other relevant supplementary source of information. Collect all the relevant study material that you need in preparation for the assignment. You can browse on internet, you can contact your library, you can contact your online library, and then you can get material that will assist you in understanding the subject matter. Do proper reading and get good understanding. The better you prepare, the better marks you score in your assignment, and that will assist you getting better marks in your final results. Look at what is required from you in the examination, in the question paper, like discuss, explain, name, list, clarify, whatever the instructions should be. Just look at it carefully so that you can attend to it. When you prepare to answer an assignment, try by all means to summarize the information you obtain from your books, journals, internet, and other material. If you consult somebody for explanations, please understand carefully and rephrase it. Do not copy your study guide, as the guide should only assist you in understanding the subject matter. Students at current, the biggest problem that we experience of marking your assignments is the copying from the study guide as it is. This course is a distance course. You don't get facilitation like face-to-face. That's why it's important for you to spend more time on this course, read and understand the topic. Whatever is not clear, please try by all means to get an understanding by calling your tutor or getting assistance from any other senior member within the law enforcement environment. But for you to understand the subject matter better, prepare well in advance for your assignment, get the relevant material, read carefully, and try to answer your assignment well in time so that you can have the understanding. Institutional policies prohibited plagiarism, therefore you are urged in all seriousness to avoid copying without acknowledging the source of information. So my plea to you is that you need to read the material, you need to answer the questions and not copy from the study guide. Provide practical examples to demonstrate your understanding of the subject matter. The continuous assessment and the calculations of examination of your marks, final marks, this subject counts 120 marks because you are only required to do one assessment for your continuous assessment, and that is the assignment that counts 120 marks for 12 credits. So the best, do good in your assignment, get maximum marks out of it, and be safe. The marks obtained will be calculated by dividing it by 6 times 5, and then you get the final mark that will be out of 100%. So if you obtain 20 and it's divided by 6 times 5, it gives you something in the range of 50. final mark, a 50% continuous assessment mark is required for admission to examinations. If you don't obtain the required mark of 50 in your assignment, that gives you the continuous assessment mark. You will not be allowed to write exam. So your final mark, pass mark is required, is 50%. The same like your continuous assessment. If you obtain 50% in your continuous assessment, you will be allowed to write exam, and it will be calculated further with your examination mark. But if you don't make it 50% in your, you will be allowed to redo your assignment. So the 50% that you obtain as your final mark in your examination will be calculated against 60% of the examination mark and 40% of the continuous assessment mark. That will give you a sub-minimum of 50 that must be attained in the examination. Example for calculations are as follows. If you obtain 50% in your assignment, it will be times 40%, that is the weight allocated to the assignment, divided by 100%, and that will give you 20. Now you get 50% in your examination, because now at that basis you will be allowed to write your exam. If you obtain 50% in your examination, it will be calculated against 60%. That will be the weighing for the examination mark. That gives you 50 times 60 divided by 100. And then it ends up giving you a final mark of 50%. So the duration for your examination for a 12 credit subject is 2.5 hours. So you will be sitting in your examination venue for 2.5 hours on this subject, Policing Law A1. You are required to answer all the questions in your examination paper. There will be multiple choice questions, true and false statements, and other short questions. Question 1 and 2 are short questions, as I indicated earlier. And then there is only 1 mark for each. 2 and 3 are ranging from 3 to 15, where you will be able to expected to discuss, explain. All questions in the examination paper are from the content of the study guide provided by IOL. Your examination timetable, make sure you know the venue and exam of your exam and the time it started. Consult IOL officers well before time to obtain your study timetable or your exam timetable. You are not requested to carry additional material for this exam. You are only requested to have your pen, your ruler, and your watch if you wanted to measure your time that you will take in the venue. But the invigilator will always remind you of the remaining time. Read all the topics in your study guide for the preparation of multiple choice questions, filling in missing words and true and false. Study hard for the examination to avoid disappointment. Students need to spend more time on the following topics. You need to read Article 1 or the articles of the Constitution that is more relevant to Chapter 3, the Bill of Rights, the history of the existence of the Namibian police force, policing pre-independence with reference to the role of South Africa. As you know, there were different forces before 1990. You know, the German Kaisers, the South African, the Southwest African, the Railway Police, all those other police agencies that were pre-independence. You need to read them, you need to know them, you need to know the role of South Africa before independence. The establishment of the Bow Street Runners. You need to know them, how it was established. How to apply the Police Act, Act 19 of 1990. Explaining of the missing person as per the Police Act, of Schedule 1 offences as per the Police Act, the statutory function of the municipal police force of service, The establishment of the municipal policing agency of reference to the reform era, conditions under which the Inspector General may suspend any member from office or uplift any suspension of a member. 3 reasons for the establishment of the Metropolitan Police Act, the phases in which development of policing in South Africa take place, the historic development of policing according to individual responsibility, discuss the 6 police systems provided by Order of Winchester. Students are once again requested and urged to read through those topics because your exam paper will mostly dwell on those topics. Read them and know them so that you can be able to answer any questions that is coming from those topics. Make sure that your student number is written correctly or if possible on all pages. Write down details as requested on the answer sheet. Write down the correct model name and code. It creates confusion if the code and name of models is wrong, as the paper will be sent from one tutor to another tutor. It's sometimes that tutors are not in the same place and then it takes time for this paper to be marked. So that's why it is requested from you to do it correct. Read instructions carefully and ensure you know what is required before you start writing. Read the exam paper first to make sure you understand the instructions and questions. Do not dive into writing without first reading the entire paper. Students tend to answer wrong and lose valuable marks in that process. Try by all means to answer questions in the sequence on the question paper. If it happens that you do not follow the sequence and maybe write other answers of like question 2 after question 5, please clearly indicate to avoid confusion. You are not permitted to take any form of notes into your examination room, and plan how much time you wanted to spend on each question. Write wisely, plan your time wisely and write as quick and neat as possible. Please take the marks allocated for each question into consideration when determining the length of your answer. If there is any questions or clarity with regard to this presentation on Policing Law A1, you are most welcome to contact me on the number provided on the presentation. Students are once again urged to follow the tips that is given on how to approach your assignment and your examination in this presentation to make success of your studies. Good day.